You didn't think we'd be on time, did you? This is A View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2025. My name is Patrick Smith. I'm joined by the Belfast Giants statistician David McGimsey and the first homegrown player to score for the Belfast Giants at the Odyssey Arena, Mr. Gareth Martin. Over the next hour or more, we'll be bringing you through all the news and views of the Belfast Giants from the last week. We're live and on demand on YouTube, X, Facebook, and you can listen to us through all the really good podcast providers. If you're watching live on any of the platforms, get involved, join the comments, join the chat. Most might see some of your chat or your comments on screen. This week, 3 wins in 7 days. Actually, 5 wins in 9 days for the Belfast Giants. They are motoring. And with the weekend in Scotland ahead, more chances to add to their 7-point lead atop of the Elite League table. We'll look at those 3 wins from the last week. Gabe Bast was on the score sheet more than once, and he'll join us for a chat. And with another trip to Dundee this weekend, let's have a word with friend of the show, head coach of the Stars, Marc LeFebvre. Mr. McGimsey, you well?
Yeah, I've had a kind of up and down week as far as it goes, Paddy. I've been trekking up and down the country watching the Belfast Giants, but my van blew up on the way back from one of the games, and it's looking like it could be anything between 5 and 10 grand to fix it.
Oh, jeez. How long have you had that van now?
I got it in 2020. Got it just BC, just before COVID, mate.
Yeah, that's a shame, mate. That's like we had car problems last year. This is a really good content. We had car problems last year. It took us nearly a year to get it sorted, but so I hope you get it sorted quicker than that. But it may be a case of a new one on the cards.
Nah, that's fine. It's getting fixed.
Marty, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, thanks for letting me chip in this week. Good to join you again. Yeah, I'm all good. Just been enjoying some high quality hockey of late. Obviously, Giants on a great role, and
I thought you were talking about
it all started. No, it was. I think it all started really with that Nottingham weekend, didn't it? Really, it was from there on. It's just been kicking on, and it's just been good to see David Goodwin back as well. I've been really impressed with him. He's just been that ace card that's been missing, hasn't he? Really, so.
Yeah, there'll be no doubt we'll have a bit of chat about that because he was heavily involved through the 3 games. Let's get stuck in those 3 games, gents. The Belfast Giants in the last 7 days took 3 wins. Away to Guildford with a 5-2 win, at home to the Coventry Blaze after a shootout in a 3-2 victory, and away just last Sunday in a comprehensive victory over the Cardiff Devils at the Calbon Arena. Let's start with that game against the Guildford Flames, and let's hear from the coaches.
Yeah, I don't think they did a good job on the right side of the puck, but we just couldn't get connected. Maybe for a little spell.
Tough one for us in the end, but credit to Belfast, the number 1 team in the league right now, and they punished us on a couple of mistakes that we made. But fair play to them. They came in here and they stuck to the guns and they got the result they wanted. But it's just tough for us right now. Again, we lose another 2 bodies tonight there, and we're just short-staffed. And it's not an excuse; it's just the facts. We're down to 8 forwards at the end of the game tonight, and against a team of Belfast's quality, it's you run out of steam. And I think the guys deserve a lot of credit, though. We battled till the end. The commitment level, we worked exceptionally hard to try and obviously push for goals, but just fell short. But sometimes you come away from a loss and you're disappointed with how the team performs, but the case tonight certainly wasn't. I thought the effort level was outstanding from our guys, and that's all you can ask some nights, regardless of the result. Backs against the wall for this team right now with the crisis that we're in, but the guys who are playing are giving us everything they've got.
I thought it was pretty scrambly, the amount of penalties. Didn't love our power play, did love our penalty kill. I thought we had some very timely scoring. To hold that team, I think we had them at 23 shots with 7 power plays. We're doing something right there. So I thought our guys, did enough to get that win. It's a big 2 points on the road in a very tough building against a good Guildford team.
What that'll do is that'll teach me for labelling the files wrong. Of course, we'll come back to that Cardiff post game later in the show. Davy, this could have been a banana skin. Now, I know that on the face of it, the Guildford Flames away from home haven't been great, but at home they've actually been level, pretty solid. You know, with the journey, with it being midweek, could have been a banana skin. It really wasn't.
Guildford were a lot more in it than maybe scored I suggest. I thought they kept coming. I'll give them that. I know Digger said there about them being short benched, and then they lost Daniel Tedesco during the game as well. So it's one of their talisman, one of their big players, and he goes down during the game. Obviously, an incident that I haven't actually seen it back yet. Just seen it once live, and it did look like a penalty. Fair enough. I know that he wouldn't have meant it, but what happened happened. There's actually very good. I was at hockey training. I was talking to one of the dads at hockey training about ice hockey. He had asked me about ice hockey, and he asked me about how many players and stuff. And I was trying to explain the line system to him, that you had probably a top 6 guys that would be relied on to play maybe 20 plus minutes a game, and then you've got bottom 6 guys who are relied on the 8 ice time up, not get scored on. It's not necessarily their responsibility to score goals, but certainly not to get scored on. And then we'll go out there, and Kieran Long has a lovely draw. And go straight to Scott Conway, who's up with Max Stewart, who had an excellent game as well on the night. On your fourth line there, coming up with a great goal to put us ahead. And then, we'll go the second goal. Longer himself scores it. And I thought it was comfortable enough. Obviously, good. Adam talks about goals being scored at good times. Good time for Guildford to get one before the end of the first period. But I thought we were pretty calm through that second period. And we obviously got the goal as well. Or a couple of goals, that timely goal just right at the end of the second period put us in really good stead for the final period, and we saw the game out. We controlled the zones very well. I thought, same as Sunday night towards the end of the game, although we'll come on that. I just thought we control the ice, and then we'll control the clock towards the end of the game, and they didn't really have as much pushback in the third as they had in the first 2 periods. And as you say, potential banana skin, a lot of hockey being played on a long travel day. And the boys, Ronnie's a couple of, that's all unfortunate for Tom McCollum there. It came up. It's a collarbone one that Marty will know better. Playing, they're hard. It's hard rebound to control. It's up in their collarbone from that distance, and it's landed down in front of the net, and there's no D-man there for to sweep it up there. I thought Tom was excellent on the night and gave us a chance to win the game. And our forwards, defensively great, and our forwards took their opportunities when they came along. Say forwards took the opportunities. Obviously, Gabe Bast, who's coming on later on with a lovely goal, 2 for the weekend. So really strong performance, and you got to deal with these hard Wednesdays away from home this stage of the season, and boys are on a bit of a roll, so good stuff.
I didn't give you the stats for this game. The goal scorers were Scott Conway, Kieran Long, Jordan Kawaguchi, Gabe Bast, and Ben Lake into the empty net. And for the Guildford Flames, it was Matt Alvaro and Brett Ferguson. It was it was Tom McCullum, my apologies, who was in nets and got the win. Marty, Longer's on a bit of a run. He's with regards to another goal for him, he's playing really well.
Yeah, he's playing really well. I mean, Stevie touched there, for flying, but it doesn't seem to be annoying him or affecting him. He's going out there. He's maybe getting a different winger each shift. Obviously, this game he was out there with Max Stewart, and then for the first goal it was it was Conway, wasn't it? With the first goal, and then when he scored, then I think Goodwin was out there. So he's just gelling with everybody. He's just so calm, and that I do feel his goal was a little bit lucky, but he's that type of guy that is willing to take that chance, and it paid off for him. It was evident there. Even there was a game. What game was it? I was doing the Sheffield Steelers game. Comes in, calm as you like, does a fake. It fooled me when I was doing the comms, and all his goals are top drawer at the moment. So yeah, he's a real key player, as we always touched about him being good on defense and offense. But he's definitely got a little bit of a spring in step at the minute, and he's playing with great momentum so far.
How do you feel?
As Marty says there as well, jumping back and forth. Bo Hansen took an injury towards the end of the game. Straight away, Longer bounced back on D there, and help the team whatever way. Team first guy. You love to see that, and when he gets his opportunities up front, he's been scoring goals, and when he's had to go and defend, goes and defends. So fair play to him.
What do you think of the performance, Marty?
I think once that, 2 up, obviously when Guildford then brought it back to 2-1, I thought, Guildford, as Davy had touched there, can be tricky. They can play well at home. But once we got the third goal, it just looked like we kind of got into our stride. And then, you pop the fourth. And then by that stage, Guildford, it just seemed like the wind was took out of their sails, and Giants were just quite dominant there in all their play, just playing with confidence. This was the first game as well where we had seen the top line of, well, we all knew it was gonna be coming. It wasn't kind of was it going to happen? It was when it was going to happen. Conway, Pickenich, and Goodwin, and I think it was even like the first shift. There was a lovely link-up play between them, and obviously once them boys got rolling, every time they were on the ice, just thought, yeah, they got this little swagger back in their game. Yeah, and the rest of the team feed off that.
One thing for this, Davy, is a bit of a difference in regards to refereeing. We of course we had Matt Rose, but we also had don't get his name,
Adam Keefe, a Canadian guy who I believe was in doing Continental Cup games in that the sort of Europa Conference League tournament that we're running down in Cardiff. So yeah, he was in. So he had obviously stayed in the UK, stayed in GB and he was doing our game, and he was really good, totally in control of the game, totally in control of his emotions and everything else going on around him. It's the watch and learn from these Canadian American guys that come in. We've talked about it around the Friendship before, and the opportunities that referees that come over have offered the workshops and all. Like watching him, there's a big difference between. I have to be very careful what I say, because the referees in this country have got a very hard job. But there's levels to everything, and it was just the level of confidence in himself and his calls and his emotions to not get involved in anything. Just thought he was a really, really good referee on the night.
The highlights from this game are available from Flames TV, and we move on to the game that took place at the SSE Arena on Saturday night. A win on a shootout for your Belfast Giants against the Coventry Blaze. Let's hear from the coaches properly.
I don't know. I mean, every day we go try and figure out which way it's going to be reffed. And tonight, obviously, they were calling a lot. So that kind of ruined the flow there. I mean, obviously, 7 penalties in the first 6 minutes or whatever that, it just kind of changes the way that the lines are being played, the amount of ice time, and just the flow of the game in particular. I didn't love our power play. I thought our penalty kill was fairly good, even though we gave up 2, took too many penalties. And probably needed one more on the power play to get that done in regulation. 5-on-5, I liked the majority of our game. I thought we controlled the majority of the game and didn't give them a ton. But that's a hard-working team. They keep coming at you. They dump a lot of pucks. They forecheck pretty hard. And, ultimately they draw a penalty there in the third period to get a second goal to get them back to even. From there, I thought it took us 5-10 minutes to really, up a gear. And I thought the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game, I thought we could have ended that game 5-on-5. They were battling. So then it goes into overtime. I thought we managed the puck quite well in overtime. And obviously in the shootout, a couple of big goals, and obviously Jackson was stellar.
Yeah. I mean, I'm proud of the guys in terms of they were focused all week in practice. They didn't skip any steps, and so we executed our game plan really well. Sometimes in these games that are kind of toss-ups, I'm not the biggest fan of the shootouts, so it's hard. But it was definitely a hard-fought game for our guys, and I'm proud of them. And disappointed, but also a lot to build on.
Goal scorers in this game for the Coventry Blaze were Gressuk and Terry Amorosa. I think the second Terrence to score at the SSE. That's one for you, Davy. Maybe I can only think of one other Terrence. No, it was a Terran. Terran, maybe. I'd Scott Finlay asked me whether we ever had a Terry score, and I tried to throw that one out there, but I don't think that works. And the Giants scores were Scott Conway, Grant Mismash, and Mismash was credited with the shootout winner, the only one to score, and an absolute belter at that. Jackson Whistle in nets for the Belfast Giants with the win. And Marty, you heard from the coaches there, and I'm going to pick up straight away with that first period and those first 20 minutes and the number of penalties that were thrown out by Vitas Lukasvicius and Pavel Harris. It seemed to be just you couldn't touch anything when the whistle would go.
Yeah, penalties galore. The coach, Adam Keefe nailed it. Just killed the momentum of the game. Nobody could really get into their kind of flow. A couple of penalties were lazy though as well. I think both teams were a little bit lazy at times in the first period. Wasn't a great watch, but thankfully the game did progress. And I personally feel in this series against Coventry Blaze, but chance of 1-4, lost 2. Obviously the Blaze they got the point here. But I think that the Blaze have definitely put up a good fight against the Giants. And well, there was two games obviously over there that the Giants more or less beat them by about 4 or 5 goals, but in Coventry's home arena. But I think when Coventry came here, they've put up a good fight and a good show. And as the second period went on, then obviously they got I think this might be the goal here. They got a little bit of a lucky bounce from the point. I think we had maybe hit Marin and went in. I think it was Greasock take the shot. Yeah, Marin might have got the tip and went in. And when the Giants then obviously they equalised with Conway, a nice one-timer. He was fed from Goodwin. Obviously they kind of the Giants then a bit more belief in their game, and then when the second goal by sorry if I'm jumping into what you're about to say, Davy, but Grant Mismash when he receives the pass, I think it was from Hansen, like Mismash and Bobo Carpenter have been rifling some wrist shots from the top of them circles. It seems to be finding the top right hand or left hand side of the net. They've been outstanding. So as well impressed with that by Mismatch. Davey, I'll let you jump in.
What was I say? So I was going to ask you, Davey, and Marty said it himself, is the fact that the Coventry Blaze and ourselves have had a bit of a back and forth. At times it's been tightly matched. There's been some really good games, both at the SSE Arena and in Coventry. And this was just another one where we were tight. Now, I think we should have been out of sight. Personally, I think we were a much better team, but Coventry hung in there.
Yeah, I hope Scott Finley's not watching, but I think we've dominated large periods of all the games against Coventry. They came with obviously a very set game plan, and yes, they mucked it up for us through the zone, made us dump and try and get in behind. It was a lot of one and done stuff for us. We couldn't get in and get any sort of that ozone time that we like to get and put pressure on that way. So it was a bit of a mucky game, even just to watch. It wasn't a fun. You go on the Sunday, Scott Finley's watching great, so he'll agree with me. I'm sure that I think we have had the best of the games against the Coventry Blaze, but you also got to give them credit. They hung in there and they came. Their coach said, they had a game plan, and it was for me, it was to come to the SSE, get a point, and see if you can get 2, rather than it's a road game. You don't come and play expansive hockey, I guess. But by the way, JJ Picknett scored in the shootout as well.
Oh yes, that's right.
But Masher obviously gets the game winning goal with scoring the first one because Jackson Whistle stoned them. Another really great performance from Jackson. Back-to-back Malin matches over the weekend. Malin match against Coventry, Malin match against Cardiff, and really strong performance from. There you go. Yeah, I agree. Take 5 points, 12. There's not many up to that, and I agree with that as well. I think that it's been a good enough matchup, but I think the Belfast Giants, in terms of the overall matchup, have been a good bit stronger. So that's us done with Coventry now. Right?
That is us done with Coventry. We don't unless we face them in the playoffs, we won't face them again.
Which we have a few times over the last sort of 10 years.
But given where we are right now, unless one of us drops off significantly, then I don't see us meeting unless we meet in the semi-finals.
Yeah, for me, it's been a good comeback season too for Coventry this season. It wasn't the best of seasons for them last year. Obviously, a lot going off the ice as well, which we'll talk about a little later in the show, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't one for the purists to watch anyway. But you come away with the 2 points. I selfishly want the regulation wins at this stage of the season, but it kept a little bit of the momentum going and taking the 2 points into what was going to be a massive game on the Sunday night.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll move. The highlights from this game are, of course, available, as you can see, from our friends at Belfast Giants TV. And we move on to that game at the Calbon Arena on Sunday night. The Cardiff Devils come into that game fresh. The game against Fife that they were due to have up in Kirkcaldy was called off due to the storm damaging the roof of the rink. Hopefully that's fixed for our own visit this week. But so therefore, Belfast Giants went in to face a very fresh Cardiff Devils side, who were one of those nights, mate. First Cardiff Devils side, who were of course celebrating still from their victories the previous week in the Continental Cup. But the Giants came out with the 2 points. Let's hear from the coaches.
Yeah, I don't think they do a good job on the right side of the puck, but we just couldn't get connected. Maybe for a little spell in the first period for 5 minutes after we scored. There was a bit of life, but when you're disconnected, you don't enter with the puck, which they wouldn't let us with a 1-1-3. Then you can't get in the full check when you're disconnected. And we just kind of chased ice all night, never really got anywhere, and I thought we gave up some poor goals. Do you know, like, for me, they're four mistakes. Do you know, it happens sometimes. Like, we've been really good. It was a big game. I thought it was a scrappy game both ways, to be honest. But it was always going to be like that. And I think in the games, you got to create your own battles. And we talked about it, and we just never really done that. We just couldn't get going. And it wasn't through lack of trying. They were trying, just couldn't find it.
Yeah, very happy. I thought, our team, it's a character win for us, in particular. It was a pretty rough travel day, and they had every reason to give it a little bit of an excuse tonight. And that was one of the challenges, is to not allow that to enter our minds and understand what's at stake in this game. And we wanted to make sure that we came out. We thought the first 10, 15 minutes were very important. I thought we were very good for the first 15 minutes. Then Cardiff gets a point shot and a tip, and that in the last 5 minutes they probably could have had another one there against us. So in the last 5 minutes, Cardiff showed their quality and kept coming at us. But I thought we regrouped there between periods 1 and 2 there, and obviously some big time plays and big time finishes by Bast and Zach Lambos, and then obviously a big power play goal to give us that lead there, and then obviously extending there with a big time goal there by our top line there in the third period. So, everybody pulling the rope tonight. Very happy. I thought pretty clinical job there in the third period, just kind of frustrating Cardiff, and I think that they outshot us, but they had a lot of shots from the outside, and we're struggling to kind of get into our zone and get set up, and I know that they can certainly come at us in waves if we allow that to happen. But I thought our guys did a pretty good job. Our third game in this week, and the guys understood what was at stake and got the job done.
Cardiff opened the scoring with Ryan Barrow, and then the Giants set the work. Gabe, Bast, Zach Lambos, Ben Lake on the power play, and JJ Pickenich round out on Jackson Whistle got the win in nets. I'm going to ask the first question of a man on holiday. Says,
yo, what's happening?
Can you hear us all right, buddy?
I can hear you at the minute. Yeah, it's my neck's sort of broken for a lot of people about. So right. Just making sure I'm keeping my wits about me.
Give us your thoughts on that game against Cardiff.
I thought we were brilliant. I didn't watch the game until after, when I got back to the hotel. It was about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Quite a few beers deep, but I thought we did very, very well. Even when we went 1-0 down, I knowing what way the travel day went, and obviously the boys it was difficult to get there. It was a bit more. There was another bloody wind warning, and it was a bit of a concern. Make sure we got there on time, but I just thought we managed the game very, very well. You talk about, Matt Carruth, he's got to be at fault for at least 3 of the goals, and that was great to see, because we all, Matt Carruth loves the Belfast Giants, and we like him not at all. But I just thought we managed the game very, very well. I thought that, when you talk about big guys standing up, Goodwin, Pickenich, and Collins came forward. Collins has taken a lot of hassle this year from some people who don't actually know what he's had to go through to play. And, he's turned up every single week, and he's still one of the best players in the league, and he's still not 100% fit. So, what we're doing right now, we've just dug deep for the last 3 months. We've started to get healthy, and I just thought Sunday night was I don't really want to say, I don't want to say that it was absolutely critical to win. It wasn't. But the biggest thing for me was getting the 2 points in the 60 minutes and not taking it to overtime. Getting that win in 60 minutes against the Continental Club champions was absolutely fantastic.
You having a good time, mate?
It's been all right. I haven't had a drink for quite a while, but this week I've had a few, and it's probably a big problem to do with Sunday night's game against Cardiff. I ended up pissed, but sure, it is what it is.
Mate, you're on holiday. That's the way it goes.
Absolutely.
Marty, what's your take on the game? The Belfast Giants were pretty dominant, really.
Yeah, Sid nailed it there. Just obviously first period when they conceded that goal, it was against the run of play, and it obviously didn't harm them. Didn't They went in obviously regrouped after the first period, came out flying, and obviously Gabe Bast comes up with a nice individual silky move that, yeah, just really well taken goal, and then obviously we move up, we go on from there, bounce on from there, and then nice play by Marin. Obviously, they throw it out to Zach Galambos, and same thing. He throws. I thought Mac Ruth probably should have done better with Zach Galambos' shot, but obviously good shot by Galambos, back of the net, and then 2-1, and then from there on, just the confidence build, a bit like in the Guildford game. The confidence build. We just keep on trucking, and when Cardiff did come at us, just kept them wide, and Jackson Whistle was comfortable. I thought he was comfortable in making most of the saves. And I was really impressed. His touch there about Conway. I'm skipping out the third goal there. The third goal was a really nice one as well, with obviously a nice move by Kawaguchi finding Lake at the back post. But I was really impressed with Conway. There was two defense of the Cardiff Devils behind the back, and the puck was just in between them. Conway goes in, really good, effective forecheck, poke check, gets the puck straight out to Conway. Conway find him picking his back post, boom in the back of the net, and that just more or less sealed the deal for the Giants from that goal.
It was lovely play. Davy, you were there enjoying it. The Giants just motored. That second period just absolutely destroyed the Cardiff Devils.
Yeah, and it was a good pushback from the Giants in the second, because we didn't get what we deserved in the first period. I thought for the first 15 minutes of the game, we were absolutely excellent. We were dominant, and we just had everything but a goal in us. And that can happen. And Cardiff, obviously, just a little wrist shot from the outside that gets a tip in front, and they go 1-0 up, and you think you've gone into the period break. You don't deserve what has happened to you, but they came out. Well, obviously, those half-hour intervals for us are, let us recharge the legs better, getting those extra few minutes in. But terrible delay game call for the start of the third period.
Sounds like none. Do you know what? I don't know. Like, I find it funny. You see some of the reactions of the Cardiff Devils fans who were calling it everything from organised crime to a cynical ploy.
Listen, I understand completely. The noise from the crowd might have had a bit of an effect, because obviously they're on the ice and we're not. But this mind games and all this BS has been going on. It's just happened. It was a terrible call. Whenever the refs, they sent me young in to go, lads, it's time to come out here. There's no clock down there. It's like a library in there, so you can't hear that the home teams came out on the ice. The guys were all standing ready to go. It's not like they were doing some sort of mental game that, we're trying to play. And we've gone from being on the power play. Well, it was actually 4-on-4, but we were going on an extended power play. They had taken a double minor for a high stick just before the end. By the time they came out, we were on a 4-on-3 penalty kill, and no idea what's happened. It literally happened that quick. But, we're penalty killed really well on Sunday night. Didn't give the Cardiff Devils too much. Jackson Whistle, sometimes your goalie needs to be your best penalty killer. We've said that before. Jackson was excellent on the night. And then when the opportunities for goals came, you've seen how they took them with a plum. Carruth doesn't like them up high over the glove, and the opportunities to get down in the slot and get those shots away. Basti, who's coming on later here, talking to his goal, just finishes it with a plum. And I thought, to be honest, apart from 5 minutes of that 60, it was, we had our way with them.
Says, do you want one more comment before you leave you to go back to your holiday?
I'm just waiting for my main course, mate. We're getting to a wee place here called the Imperial Taipan. Starter was fantastic, so I'm just waiting for the main course coming. Pete, you'll hear Pete shouting over my shoulder in a couple of minutes as soon as it happens. No, but look, again, you want a strong performance against the Cardiff Devils, and that's exactly what we got. I don't think we're the last few weeks we've started to build a bit of momentum. Marty talked about the momentum. When that starts coming in, you just need to take one game at a time. Cardiff Devils hadn't played in a week. Obviously, the Friday, the Fife game was cancelled for them on Saturday, so gives them another extra day all right, they might have been out partying because, you know, if you went a 10 plate, you'd want to have a few drinks on it. But, you know, when you get a club championship, it's not really to be sniffed at. I know we jest over it. But, you know, to come out on top of the tournament the week before, that I'm sure they went partying for a couple of days. But that's not the first time they would have went partying after a big win. And obviously, you know, they just come up against a really good team on a really good night. And that's how we played. And you know, their goaltending let them down. There's no other way of looking at it. Matt Cruz let them down. So it's great to see. And hopefully he has a few more games against us at the rest of the season. And he plays the same as way he played on Sunday night.
Says he got one thing for you from coming in from Scott Finley. He says, get yourself to Harry's Bar.
Harry's Bar is just over there. It's there. Where's my finger? Where's my finger? It's over there. So we're gonna once we come out of the Chinese place, we're gonna go in there.
Happy days, mate. Good to see you. Enjoy your holiday.
See you there, boys. Keep it lit.
Big thanks to Says for joining us. We just a couple more things before we bring Bast in. One thing I took from this game as well, especially from a Cardiff perspective, is, as we say, they were coming in fresh. They didn't have to do the trip up to Fife. They hadn't played in a week. We were playing game after game after game, but I didn't like. I said this about Sheffield as well. Some of the guys who are supposed to be the big names, the big players, the guys who should have put that game on their back, they're at home, they're fighting for a championship, weren't there. Like, it took a while before I noticed Joey Martin. I barely noticed Cole Sanford. McWilliam didn't seem to be there. These names didn't seem to pop up as often as you normally have them. And the man of the match, I know I jested on Twitter, which isn't like me, about a 73-year-old Evan Mosey being the best player on the ice for the Cardiff Devils, Davy. But it seemed to be the case.
We not with our own adversity as well. Obviously, we lost Bobo Carpenter earlier in the game to it's a 2-minute minor for check the hill. Talk about that another time. You lose a player for a game, and then everything has to get chopped up there again. And Bast stepped up with a little point, and I think on the first goal from him, buzzed about all night, and give different. Talk about this next man up mentality. Just gives different people opportunities to play. And I thought, you talk about the Cardiff Devils not playing well, but didn't really allow them. Pete Russell talked there about the 1-1-3 and not allowing them to set up any sort of offensive zone pressure. And we looked after the neutral zone really well, forced them to go deep. And we won the puck battles. We won the races, the pucks. Our controlled breakout was really, really strong. We transitioned really well, and we got shots when we took the opportunities to get in on goal. We took those opportunities. It could have been a more devastating win and a more devastating defeat for the Cardiff Devils. But keep those goals for another night.
The highlights. Oh, sorry, do you have anything more to say in the game, Marty, before we move on?
I just think maybe the Continental, obviously making the breakup of the league for them is a bit detrimental to them, because I'm not saying the standards that they played against. We all know the situation, what happened. The team couldn't make it, and then a couple of players couldn't make it because of visa problems, etc., etc. The opposition that the Devils were playing against. But I think they probably really could have done with playing against Fife on Saturday night, just to obviously get back into the way of playing in the Elite League, to get the adrenaline going. Okay, obviously they would have had a late night traveling down the bus, but once you can't step into your home arena, I mean, the Giants do it all the time. Obviously they play away, and then they come home. They got to travel well, not as much this year, but they did last year. But you would have came home and played on a Sunday. You still get that little lift, that little bit of energy. So I think it kind of did work in our favor that game was cancelled against the Fife Flyers, just for them not to get back into the Elite League kind of groove that they had obviously missed out for 2 weeks.
The highlights from the game are available from Devils TV on YouTube. Right, let's have our first guest. He was on the score sheet. He's been on the score sheet twice this week, with a lovely individual effort as well on Sunday against the Cardiff Devils. Please welcome back to A View from the Bridge, as of course, Gabe Bast. How are you doing, Bast? Are you right?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Fine. Just turn your phone 90 degrees, and that should fix. There we go. Sounds
perfect.
On the score sheet twice this week, mate, and a lovely effort on Sunday.
Yeah, you know what? It was we had a good weekend there. Obviously probably didn't want to take Coventry to overtime there, but we got all 4 points. But yeah, it was a good weekend for the guys.
We were talking there about how the Cardiff Devils, haven't played in a week, and what we played, we played in midweek in Guildford, and then again on Saturday. But I guess that when you're in this position, when the momentum's going and the confidence is high, you just want the games to keep coming thick and fast.
Yeah, I think we're all competitors and we just want to play. I think at this point in the season, getting rest is crucial on our days off. So maybe we're not practicing enough or as much, but yeah, just playing games, getting into that groove. It's a lot of fun.
Basti, how important has it been for the team? I know that with the different ones in and out with injury, but sort of from mid-November, early December, we started to get fit. We started like the start of the season was difficult for us with guys in and out all the time. We're starting to get a bit more settled now, and we've got excellent goaltending, no matter who's in the pipes.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like you said, our goaltending has been fantastic all year. And I think early on in the year, they helped us win a lot of games that we may not have got a point in or a win, just because we were so depleted on bodies. So you know what, everybody has been pulling the rope lately, and it's a lot easier with a full lineup.
Let's talk about Gabe Bast. 12 months ago, you were still celebrating the previous season. Has it been a good decision to come back?
Yeah, no, I missed it. I love being back in Belfast playing, and this is the fun time of year. This is when obviously we got the Challenge Cup semifinals, and then we look forward the the league race, and then obviously the playoffs. And I don't know exactly how much time we have, but these next probably 10
That's
weeks are gonna fly.
exactly what you say. 10 weeks is going to go fast here. It's an
Yeah, it's
exciting
gonna
10
fly
weeks, but
by.
it's going to go quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey Gabe, good chat with you. Yeah, you were here 2 seasons ago, and in around this time, we were kind of obviously we're heading towards the final of the Challenge Cup, and then we obviously were chasing down the Guildford Flames. Does this team obviously now we've got the advantage in the league of 7 points? How does this team feel compared to that team 2 years ago? Is it still the same kind of mentality, or do you feel this team, obviously with David Goodwin coming back in, it just feels like it's got that little bit extra?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty similar mentality. Obviously different positions. 2 years ago we were chasing, and now we're leading. So I think just not getting too far ahead of ourselves and just playing on a game to game basis. I think that is what is going to be crucial for us.
And also, you've struck up a formidable partnership with Mike Lee. When you're both fit, and obviously you're playing 20+ minutes per game. I've just seen your game. You've been creeping in, becoming well, quite similar to what you were like 2 seasons ago, where you're always kind of joining the rush, and it seems like you're getting a little bit more freedom in your game. Do you feel the same way, or have you just been given a little bit of instruction to kind of be activated and join the rush?
Um, no, I don't think there was like any instructions. I think early on in the year, it was just a little bit more difficult for me to find the back of the net, and wasn't really getting rewarded on plays. And I think now that we're uh, we're kind of in top form here as a team, I think it's just been a little bit easier, and I've been fortunate to get a couple lucky breaks.
You
That's good.
obviously.
Keep it up.
Sorry.
Good job.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
obviously, we spoke to Goody a few weeks ago when he came back in, and name a face you know very well, and then when you played and won with him before when he was captain. But from your perspective, he's got a point per game when he's come back in. But from your perspective, what else has he brought into the locker room since he's arrived?
I think just I don't know, his presence is he carries a big presence in the locker room, and he's a great leader. He's a great guy, and I think you know what, he's been here, he's done it multiple times, and I think guys kind of rely on him, and just he lets his play speak for itself, and he just contributes on and off the ice a lot, and it's fantastic.
How is the confidence in the room?
Right now it's good. It's yeah, we I don't know what 6 or 7 games right now
Mhm.
that we're on. But yeah, right now it's good. Everything's kind of flowing, and yeah, we look forward to these last what 22, 23 games.
Yeah. Go on.
I've just seen our next guest.
I've just seen our next guest. Well, we'll come to that.
Who is it?
It's Marc LeFebvre, and his jumper is quite interesting. Obviously the trip to Scotland this weekend. How's the preparation going for that?
Well, actually, we haven't started preparing yet. We've had past couple days off, so we'll get back into the rink tomorrow, and yeah, get ready for that early ferry on Saturday to Fife, and then Dundee on Sunday.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Basti, really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on, and keep on trucking with that. I think let the wins keep coming.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Basti.
Save the date.
Adam Keefe's testimonial gets closer and closer, and I'm no doubt there'll be news coming pretty soon about what will be happening, and maybe a few of the players that might be coming along. Keep an eye on the socials for that. Right, the Belfast Giants travel to Scotland this week, and a game on Saturday against the Fife Flyers before travelling up the road on the Tayside to face the Dundee Stars. Who else are we going to get on this show? And with his lovely hoodie is the friend of the show, Mr. Marc LeFebvre, head of the coach of the Dundee Stars. How do you, mate? Nice jumper.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? It's the world's in a better place now, so it's we're back to normal. We're back to normal.
Let's move on from that. I want to start just one question. What is it about the Glasgow clan that you've got their number in Dundee?
To be honest, it's just a big rival for us. I mean, the last 2 games we played them, I think they got themselves into a bit of penalty trouble, and we taken advantage on the power play. See, our power play for most of the year, I think it's been top 2 in the league. Right now it's top 3. So we just take advantage of our opportunities against them. But, like when we play Fife, it's a big rival for us. So we want to win those games more than anything, especially on home ice.
I'm just saying, with the clan coming in there last week, they get the 2 goals, and then you absolutely demolish them.
Yeah, but that's just like a common theme for us. We're so out of the gate pretty quick. Hold on, the dog's going nuts. So
no, let's get the dog out.
He's a little jealous, so that's the problem.
Fantastic.
So no, for us, we get off the slow starts for whatever it is. We're so out of the gate. We like playing from behind. And you see, this weekend we were down 2-0 against Glasgow, 2-0 against Coventry. We managed to claw back and get some points, but. It's not a recipe for success, that's for sure. So the overall picture of things we have to improve on that, having better starts.
So just on that, Marc, like I know if you had the answer to that, you would be doing what was necessary. But what is causing those slow starts? Is it just the guys not ready to play, or just there's been a bit of puck luck, or?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's maybe just the group we have. We're very we're a quiet group compared to last year's group. We had a guy like Phelan who's running around from the opening shift. This year, we're just kind of, maybe it's a different group that likes to ease into the games. Obviously we're trying to improve on that week in, week out. But, whether it's changing the music, maybe we're changing who's reading the lineups. It's you're trying different things to get the guys going from the opening puck drop.
Without giving any sensitive information away, are you trying to make any moves before you can't make any more moves?
But we're always looking, right? As coaches and GMs, we wouldn't be doing our job if we weren't looking, right? Whether in your first place or you're battling for a playoff spot like we are, you're always trying to improve your club.
Marc, I was just looking at your results there over the month of January. So obviously you started off pretty hot beating the Devils, and then obviously a couple of slumps against the Nottingham Panthers, and then the 5-0 to the Guildford Flames. You got the Guildford Flames coming up before the Giants on Saturday. Obviously 2 home games this weekend. You know how you're going to approach the Guildford game. You got to change different tactics against them, because Guildford, you don't really know, a bit like yourselves at the minute. 1 minute they're hot, 1 minute they're cold. They're kind of a hard team to read at the minute.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is just focus on ourselves, like any game. But I think it's going back to my previous points. We have to have a better start. Last time we were in their building, we only gave up 3 shots in the first 9 minutes, and they're all in the back of our net. And it wasn't anything about our goaltending. We just, guys diving in on pucks, odd man rushes against, shooting pucks in the shin pads going the other way. I think we only gave up 23 shots or 24 shots when we were in that building, but we didn't score any ourselves. So it starts from the drop of the puck that we have to be ready, no matter who we're playing against.
And also, playing the Giants again, obviously on Sunday. You'll be playing the Giants at least 10 times this year. Obviously the same with sorry to bring that up, but Glasgow and Fife. I mean, how do you feel? Does it feel a bit tedious playing obviously the same team or the same 3 teams 10 times compared to the rest of the leagues, albeit 6, or do you just like them though? Do you like them battles? Do you like them little series that you kind of develop within?
Yeah, I'll take the Glasgow games, for example. The last 2 times we played them in pretty physical contests, lots of penalties drawn, and it's a big rival for us. Same thing with Fife. We always have competitive games against them. They're only 45 minutes from us. And against you guys, I think it goes back to last year. I think we had a lot of good physical battles against you guys. And this year, obviously, you got the better of us in majority of the games. But I know there's 3 other coaches that have called me this week, make sure we beat you guys on Sunday. So keep themselves in the title race. But it doesn't matter how many times you play a team. Obviously, when I was in the East Coast Hockey League, we played some teams 14, 15 times, including playoffs and preseason. That so you get used to playing certain teams. But I think with you guys, you have so much depth, and you're able to interchange your roster all the time. Whether it's you start Tom in net or Jackson in net, it allows you to go with 15 import skaters on the ice. So that's the one thing, the benefit that you guys have compared to most teams. You have that depth. You can bring guys in and out of the lineup all the time. So as coaches, we're always guessing who's going to be in the lineup and what your line is going to be, especially on the power plays and the PKs.
One of the we talk about making moves. One of the moves that you made a number of weeks ago was the return of Philip Sanch. Bringing him back in after he had his sojourn over in Glasgow, but now he's back in the ranks at Dundee. What does he bring to the lineup? Why bring him back in?
Well, I think we were looking for a top 6 forward to start. I think we struggled scoring goals, especially at the start of the year. We need a guy who when I bring in guys midway through the season, I like to look for guys who already know the league, so it's an easier adjustment for them coming in. Yeah. So he fit the bill. He played in Dundee, obviously, before playing Glasgow. He knows the league. He brings a little bit of goal scoring to us. Obviously, I think he's got 11 goals so far for us since coming in, and he's a bit of a rat too. He's not the biggest guy, but he gets under a team's skin, and we needed that. I think we were missing that. For the majority of the year, we lost a guy last year in James Phelan that I want to bring back. Decided to sign in France. I think we're missing that kind of player this year, who's just a real ratty player. I know Kiefer was yelling at him a few times last year from the bench. He wasn't too happy with a few things, but he's just a deterrent. But I think Phil brings some skill and scoring to our lineup as well. Something that we've been lacking a little bit, but he's been a great addition to our lineup.
That's and you said you're absolutely right about players that have experience and knowledge of the league, and I could bring up Spencer Nass as well, who you brought back into the lineup. And I think also knowing the organization, knowing what you're getting, and Dundee know what they're getting in a player like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's an easier transition, especially last year was Nazar coming back. I coached him, so he knows exactly how we want to play and the style. And he had some good chemistry with Harms last year on a line, so they've got that chemistry going again. And he's been helping our power play a lot. Like I said, it's been the top 2 or 3 in the league for most of the year. So, and he's definitely added to that. So he just brings a little bit of everything. Got a shorthanded assist the other night. He's just a tremendous 2-way player, and he's a true pro in our dressing room as well.
Coach, we were talking to Gabe Bast there just before you came on, and we're saying, unbelievably, there's only like 10, 11 weekends left in this season. and it's going to go quick. Have you reassessed any little mid-season targets here? Or is it all geared? Let's just get these playoffs.
For us, it's top 8 no matter what. And you know how our format works in our league. Anything can happen. You get hot for 2 weekends, you're a playoff champion. So it's you got to get yourself there first before anything. But it's one game at a time for us. We know the situation that we're in. Obviously, the 3 points this past weekend definitely helped with teams behind us dropping points and that. So end of the day, we just got to take care of our own business, and that's all that matters. So it's one game at a time. We focus on Guildford Saturday, and then Sunday morning when we wake up, we focus on you guys.
Well, that's it. That's what you're expecting. You're expecting the Belfast Giants to come in hot, but you'll obviously be wanting to take those points because you are in that battle. You are in that battle. You took the points off the Clan. You see the Storm are having those sort of their trials and tribulations, but that top 8, it's probably going to be in a battle between you, the Storm, the Clan, and who's above you now?
Just Guildford's there, yeah.
Guildford as well.
I think for us is if we can slide into that 7th spot, then end up. If you guys don't win the league title, maybe facing you guys or Cardiff or somebody like that. But for us, we've got 20 games left. I think we've been such a Jekyll and Hyde team all year. Like we've gone into Cardiff and won. We've gone into Nottingham, we've won. We beat Nottingham twice this year. We've gone to Sheffield and won. And then next night we'll lay an egg the next night. So we got to kind of stop this Jekyll and Hyde kind of how we're playing. We're great one night, then we're poor the next night. We're kind of not in between. We're kind of really high or really low. And but we've got to try and string some wins together and some results here and carry momentum into the playoffs.
Like here, before you go there, Paddy, I'm really interested in the psychology of that, Marc, because we get so many coaches on during the season and talk about the great conundrum of consistency and how to get it. And you're talking there, you've got a good enough team to go to Nottingham, who are a pretty good team this season, and beat them, and then come maybe home and lose to, Glasgow at home or something the following night. Is that consistency just something that frustrates a coach right through his career?
Oh, 100%. You have a lot of sleepless nights because of that. Especially when you're battling for your playoff lives, every night. And, we're a smaller club and, not everybody expects us to compete with you guys for a league title or anything. And then the expectations are for us to get to the playoffs. And when you're trying to battle for those spots, when you have a slip up after a great night the night before, it hurts a lot. So it's just trying to find that balance and consistency. It's trying to figure out ways of getting the guys motivated to play that second game, especially after you've won the night before. You have such a high. It's trying to carry that high into the next game and carry on the momentum instead of being just satisfied with 2 points. Because I think a lot of it this year we've been so satisfied with getting 2 points on a weekend instead of going for the jugular and getting the 4. I think that's been kind of our consistency this year.
So is your weekend? Are you set up to take 2 points every weekend? That's almost the targets to get at least 2 every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main target. But if you get 2 on the first night, why not go for 4 on the second?
Yeah,
that's just getting that consistency for part of it, and that builds momentum. I think especially when your last game on the weekend carries you to a good week, you're in a better mood as a coach going into the week of practice too with your guys. So it's just carrying momentum. If you win that first game, trying to carry into the second game and going for, like I said, that jugular game, the 4 points.
Marc, listen, we appreciate your time as always. Obviously, we wish you well on Saturday night, not so much on Sunday. But no doubt we'll catch up with you again. Thanks, man.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Big thanks to both Marc LeFebvre and Gabe Bast for their time this evening on the show. Right, gents, one thing to go quickly now, just before we talk about various other bits and pieces around the league. The Player of the Month was handed over to Bobo Carpenter there just the other day. I'll bring that up. I'm going to make that in a big screen. He was received by far the most votes in this. Well, no, sorry, by far. It was actually quite a close run thing with Jeff Baum. But given the month of December he had, Davy, as I say, it came down to just a few percent against Jeff Baum. But the month of December he had, I think that it was a hard push not to. It was between him and Jeff Baum for me.
Yeah, both players, well, more than both players, a lot of players had really strong months, and Bobo coming away with the lion's share of the votes there. I guess because I'm quite sentimental about things, having his parents in town over Christmas and scoring that amazing short-handed goal in front of his dad will have, been really, really special for him on a personal level as well. Obviously went out hurt on Sunday night, which wasn't good, but he's had a strong January as well. He's a shooter. He gets an opportunity. He's getting pucks on net, and he's been a really positive for the Belfast Giants. Obviously taking that injury way back in Manchester. Might even have been the first league game of the season. Manchester Storm game where he's taken that nasty hit from behind and he's missed a number of weeks through that, and he's had to build his fitness and his confidence and all back up. That's bound to rock you, but a real high quality part of our squad, and had a very, very good month in December like a lot of people, and congratulations to him on picking the big prize up.
He was the name that when he signed in, Marty, from coming in from the Florida Everblades, where he'd done so well there, and I think he won a championship there, didn't he? And he come in with a big reputation, and he's fulfilling it.
Yeah, and he stamped his place on that second line with Marin, and in the month of December there, Barriga. I thought they were excellent, that line playing together. And as Davy had said there, he took that knock early on. He was out a little bit slow getting back into things, but certainly kicked on once he's been into full fitness. And I think I said earlier when Mismash scored the screamer of a top shelf, Carpenter's been similar, just busting down that right wing, and they can just snap them wrists, and the goals come from nowhere. So obviously that's why Adam Keefe signed him and brought him in to be able to do things like that. And when he has a quality centre man able to feed, pinpoint passing, it's working. And he's obviously making that second line stand out. Well, he did. He's still in the month of December. But obviously it's important because more or less all 3-4 lines now are contributing. So big positive for Adam Keefe and the coaching staff.
Congratulations to Bobo Carpenter on the Player of the Month award for December, sponsored by Funny Cab, and big thanks to everybody involved in handing that out to him after the game against the Coventry Blaze. What also happened on Wednesday night was the elimination game for the Challenge Cup, and it was between Nottingham Panthers and the Glasgow Clan, and it was an absolute thumping. 5-1 for the Nottingham Panthers at the NIC, puts them into the semi-finals. It was the Belfast Giants as the top seed who got to choose from the Cardiff Devils and the Nottingham Panthers who they wanted to play, and they have elected to play the Nottingham Panthers in the semi-final. The games will be Wednesday the 12th of February at home and Wednesday the 26th of February away. So there's two questions to be had here, gentlemen, and I'll start with you on this, Davy. The right opponent to face, and is it interesting that we play away in the second leg?
I think that's just a case of scheduling and arena availability. I think the preference for anybody is to play your second leg at home at this time of the year. Concerts are coming thick and fast. Different. There's motocross on this week in the arena, I believe, or whatever it's called. So it's just you're trying to find that time to squeeze that game in, and you hope it's bit us in the backside a few times taking first legs at home. You hope it doesn't. Is it the right choice to take the Nottingham Panthers? There's a very good question, because for me, I think they're one of the strongest teams that we've faced this season. Although the last two times are actually the only two times we've went into Nottingham with a hideous travel day where we've turned up just before face-off, and the time before, I think we're at least 5 guys short. I'm going to say we had like 10 imports or something like that. It was a difficult game, and I think we conceded 4 of the 5 goals with a man short. But I digress. Cardiff Devils, difficult team to play against. European champions, Sheffield Steelers on any given night can beat any team in this league. So it was always going to be a difficult decision as to which team you would make. It would have been a bold move to take either of the other two as well. So the Panthers were the lowest seed left in the competition, so the top seed have taken the bottom seed, which is kind of, for me, how it should be anyway. Take that out of the equation, just play top the bottom seed, and I would have taken that out. Probably, hopefully, a good decision, but remains to be seen. It'll be a difficult 2 games.
Marty, what's your take?
Yeah, I think, if Cardiff Devils were 4th seed. I just think you got to go against the 4th seed. I agree with Davy. I think it's well, I don't really agree with your top seeds who you can choose who it is. Just obviously in the years gone past, it was always kind of first be fourth, second be third. So I just think they should stick with that, and I think the Giants did the right thing by just choosing the Nottingham Panthers because like we know any of these three teams when they turn up and let's say they have an awesome night, they come back to bite the Giants. So like I think it's the right decision, and it's going to be a tough game irrespective anyway, home or away. And sometimes it's good to get the home game though. First of all, get it done and dusted because if you can get 1 or 2 game cushion, then go over and more or less contain the away game. But look, I'm looking forward to it. Challenge Cup. Hopefully it does. Hopefully the final does come back to the SSE because obviously against the Five Flyers, great atmosphere, and then the year before that against the Cardiff Devils, it was probably one of the best nights I've ever had in the arena. It was just electric.
Just give you that question, Marty. There's just our good friend Kevin Madden coming up with, would it be better to single leg with home advantage going the top seed instead of a 2-legged semi-final? I think that's one way of improving the cup at this stage.
Yeah, I think we've touched on this cup a lot of times. There's certainly many ways we can improve it, but yeah, definitely I would say just who are top seed, just get one leg done and then straight to the final, and obviously the final's just one leg as well. So yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit drawn out sometimes with these 2-legged affairs.
Wednesday 12th for the home game and Wednesday 26th of Feb for the away one, and we'll see who progresses to the final. I actually kind of agree. I think it should be a single. I think it should be a single leg semi-final. Given that, especially now, there's a little bit of a fixture pile up due to the weather. There's been a number of games that have been affected by the weather, but a number of those. Good comment there from Andy Russell. 2 legs and semis or finals isn't the issue when the group stage format is a tire fire, sadly. And listen, we all know this is the perennial discussion within elite league circles is what to do with the Challenge Cup. And I said before, when you've got 10 teams, but you're structuring it with one group with 6 and one group with 4, then you're already not taking it seriously. When you're having when teams are playing different amount of games, it harkens me back to the days of conferences and how you could have a league table structured when teams didn't play each other an even number of times. And we got rid of that, thankfully, because we were able to bring in a better system and a more straightforward system. Challenge Cup needs to be revised, and I don't think this is the right way, but we'll see what comes of it of the future. Quick chat about the Giants, lads, and where we are. I think that Sunday was quite a pivotal day, or it felt like quite a pivotal day, with the Belfast Giants being dominant at the Calbon Arena against the Cardiff Devils, simultaneously at the Spectrum. Quite a shocking result for the Sheffield Steelers, where they got absolutely humped by the Guildford Flames away at Guildford. Probably unexpected, but given that you look at our running and the teams that we play, Marty, from here on in, and we play five times. We play 5 times. The Flames, the Storm, and the Devils 3 times. Dundee twice, one of which this weekend. The Clan twice, the Panthers twice, and the Steelers only once. Whereas you look at the Steelers and I think the Steelers and the Devils have to face each other at least 3, maybe 4 times in the league before this season's done. So the Giants actually have quite a decent set of fixtures, with most of those being at home.
They do. I think the form that the Giants are in now, and
don't say it.
I'm not saying it.
No, but the form they're in, I think they don't care who they come up against.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen how dominant they were, obviously against Cardiff in Cardiff's arena. Obviously there was a really good game a couple of weeks ago when Sheffield came into town. Probably one of the best games. Probably was the best game I've seen this season. Sheffield were coming off the back of 8-game winning streak. Giants were obviously on a roll, playing well. Two top teams going for it. Giants get the victory in that one, and they've just kicked on, and it just seems that the Steelers have stuttered a little bit from that. But yeah, just looking at them fixtures, obviously Devils come in to Belfast for the doubleheader weekend. That'll be probably the pivotal weekend, more so for the Devils. But obviously, look, we're in control, 7 points. We just got to keep on doing what we're doing, winning the games, and just take one game at a time. Obviously, Fife and Saturday, Marc, like Marc LeFebvre said there, take one game at a time, and then obviously Sunday the chance will look to Dundee Stars, and then week of practice, and then regroup, and then look for the home fixtures the following weekend.
21 games for the Belfast Giants yet to play, Davy. And I said 5 of those are against Fife, and we've got the Dundee games, etc., etc., etc. But we are 7 points clear with games to be played from others. How much in the driving seat are the Belfast Giants?
Hopefully 28 games to play left in the season. I think we'll play 45.
Yes, I'm in the regular season.
45, 46. Honestly, Paddy, because I wouldn't want to get carried away in any shape or form. They've really just got to, for the next month, this February, let March take care of itself. And in fact, let February take care of itself after this weekend. The guys just got to be dialed in to focus one game at a time. I know it's cliche and all, but if this team focuses and plays to the level it can play at, the rest will take care of itself. Can't be looking at April at this stage or what might be. You've just got to play the very next game that's in front of you. And I know I'll reiterate again, I know it's cliche, but I am not getting into anything else. It's one game at a time. It's be professional, and the chips will land. This team will get what it deserves if it plays the way it can play.
And the league table doesn't lie, mate. I think from the Belfast Giants have been motoring of late, and let's hope that continues on. The real opportunity here is, like you say, in the next month to pick up points and try to solidify that place. But there's 21 regular season games to be played by the Belfast Giants, and there's teams that can still. There's a lot of things can happen in that time. But hopefully, like you say, we saw what this team could do both against the Sheffield Steelers the other week, and against the Cardiff Devils, and against Guildford, and against Coventry. But it's
worth caveat. We're only 33 games in the 53 game season. We're just over halfway. There's a lot of hockey to be played. A lot of things can happen, and we cannot worry about games in 6 weeks from now. We've just got to worry about Fife and then Dundee. That's straightforward. You have to be focused in.
One thing I'm going to do now is, well, just before I'm going to drop that stuff out, because I want to show something that there's a bit of news that this week. There's an upcoming game between the Coventry Blaze and the Nottingham Panthers, which has been deemed to be a memorial game for Dale Keane. Obviously, Keane passed away, and what was a terrible year last year for things that happened. But one things that they've done is the Coventry Blaze have released this shirt that they'll be wearing in the game, and I think it's an absolute beauty of a shirt. They obviously harken back to his days in Solway with the tartan as well. But it's hard to believe it's a year, Davy. But it's a great way to remember the man.
A little bit of goosebumps there. Just seeing that and thinking back, and every time you go into the Skydome Coventry, they've got the Scottish flag up there with his name on it above the Jumbotron, and a harrowing time, I guess, for the club last season for Danny Stewart. He obviously moved on to Nottingham, but still very raw down there and still very much loving the club. I've seen says his good friend Martin Spud Grubb putting something on Twitter the other day about loving it, and it's a lovely touch. Anthony Russell said a little bit about it there. I'm sure Scott Finlay will have his own opinions on it if he pops up in the comments there. But just, it's nice to remember people that have done so much for a club that were taken too young and in such terrible circumstances. And I'm glad that Keano's remembered with such fondness down there, and rightly so.
I believe there'll be replicas of this shirt available, and no doubt with money going to the appropriate charity. But Marty, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's outstanding jersey. It really is. And I spoke with Marc, Kel, Carter, and Cameron Hamill. They all played obviously with under Keno with the under-20 Great Britain team last December, and then obviously the tragedy happened to Keno then in January, and I got speaking to them, like they were absolutely shell-shocked, gutted, because he was always the arm around the shoulder to them, always reassuring them. Let's say they had a bit of a bad shift or whatever, or they were always he was always the good guy. He was like the big brother looking out for them, and yeah, to hear what he done for our local boys and stuff. He's a well thought of guy, and yeah, really nice touch from the Coventry Blaze.
Well, yeah, indeed. Well done to the Coventry Blaze. And that game was against the Nottingham Panthers, obviously involving Danny Stewart. In that is coming up, and if people, I believe that these shirts will be available. Lovely shirt that it is. Well done to them. Belfast Giants have 2 games this weekend against the Five Flyers on Saturday over in Kirkcaldy, 7:15 p.m. face-off. If you're not travelling to that, you get that on Flyers TV. And likewise, the game against the Dundee Stars that we spoke about in the DIA, 5 p.m. on Sunday, and you get that on Dundee Stars TV. Any other business, gentlemen? I'm going to start. I'm just going to, because I think we did show this before, and but I'm going to show it again because he's on the show. But it's a little video of a game that Marty would know well. This is the first goal scored by by a local player at the SSE, and in this match, Marty, talk us through it.
Talk us through it. We were winning quite comfortably, so I was getting a regular shift on the third line with Mo and Paxton, and yeah, it was just London Racers. I think they were going through bit of a bad time. But here comes the goal here. Yeah,
there he goes. There's the big number 12.
Marty, tell me this. Can you remember it like it just happened? Can you remember skating on that puck? And can you remember the net? Can you remember the goalie going down, sticking up over his shoulder? Do you remember that?
I can definitely remember the puck on the blade and shooting and then going over his shoulder, and I just remember hitting the back of the net and then just going crazy. And then obviously more fit. Yeah, I couldn't be more fitting with Paxton being the first guy there, because Paxton put in the miles and the yards with likes of myself, Mo, Graham Walton. After practice, he was always there making sure, teaching us how to shoot correctly. We used to just do like wrist shots, then he taught us how to do the kind of snapshot from the wrist, and I got one there. So like it was awesome just for him to be there, jump into his arms, and then yeah, a great moment and a great feeling. And do you know what? On February, so I think was it February? What game was this? But what day was this? February 12th, maybe 13th. It'll be exactly half my life ago, so 21 years ago. In the next week or two, I'll need to pinpoint the date.
There he is, big number 12 there. And look at that! So, look at that look at that fresh-faced young man giving an interview after the game. What a guy!
Yeah, no, it was amazing, best feeling ever. Obviously, scoring in your hometown and stuff, and yeah, it was nice reception by the guys. So look, yeah, I love it. It does make me quite emotional still looking back at it. Thanks for doing
that. Any other business, gents? Anything from you? I think how was the take up for the merchandise last week, Davy, with regards to the boxing?
Oh, all gone. All gone. All delivered as well.
All delivered.
I was able to. It was taken on the night. I was able to give it to Taff on Wednesday night down in Guildford. He was able to hand it over to the lady that and gents that bought this stuff on Saturday night back at the SSE Arena. So thank you. That money's already in Johnny Boxall's account.
Yep, I think it's all gone very well. The generosity of people knows no bounds when it comes to supporting causes like this, and we thank everybody who's bought a raffle, got involved, got some of the merchandise off Davy, and helped out with this. I know it's very well received, and congratulations. Well, thank you to everybody who got involved. Congratulations to everybody who got involved, or congratulations to people who got the merchandise. But I think it's that us, boys. Yeah,
and done.
Let's just wrap it all up then. Big thanks, of course, Big thanks, of course, to Marc LeFebvre and to Gabe Bast. Big hello to Simon Kitchen for popping along. The Belfast Giants games, as I said, Saturday 7:15 p.m. over in Fife, taking off on the Fife Flyers in Kirkcaldy. You get that on Flyers TV, and then they're up the road on the Tayside to face the Dundee Stars in the Dundee Ice Arena, 5 p.m. on Sunday. Stars TV for that, of course. Socials at AVFTB. On Twitter, you can get us on Facebook, Instagram. You can get us on YouTube and all that sort of good stuff. Marty, great to see you, mate.
Yeah, boys, thanks for having me on. Enjoyed it. It's nice to get back on again.
And you, Davy, keep well. Hope you get the van sorted out.
I'm driving a wee Skoda Fabia at the minute, so I want the van back on the road ASAP.
Let's get that, get it moving, mate. And that's it, boys. Wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.